If they want you at midnight but won't choose you in daylight. If they get jealous when you pull away but get distant when you come closer. If they act like you're special but never actually make you theirs, this is not you being delusional. This is your brain addicted to a psychological trap called almost. And almost is more dangerous than rejection will ever be. Rejection hurts for a week. Almost can ruin you for years. Here's the brutal truth no one tells you. People don't keep you in the middle because they don't know what they want. They keep you in the middle because they know exactly what they want. They want the benefits of you without the responsibility of choosing you. Psychology calls this the gray zone, and once you understand why it works, you'll never fall for it again. But I have to warn you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll realize how many people have done this to you, and how many times you've done it to others without even knowing. So why does someone want you but refuse to choose you? It comes down to one uncomfortable principle. Humans don't crave love the most. They crave certainty for themselves and uncertainty for you. Think about it. When someone fully chooses you, they have to give up all their other options. They have to give up the fantasy that someone better might come along. They have to risk being hurt. But when they keep you in almost, they get everything. They get your attention, your affection, your loyalty, your body, your emotional support, all without giving you a single commitment in return. You become an ego insurance policy. There are 3 specific psychological reasons they do this, and the second one is going to make you angry because you've probably been blaming yourself for it. The first reason is what psychologists call ego validation. You make them feel wanted. Every time you reply fast. Every time you get jealous. Every time you wait for them. Their brain gets a hit of dopamine. You are literally a drug to their self-esteem. And like any drug, they don't want to give you up, but they also don't want to pay the price for you. So, they keep you on the shelf, not close enough to lose, not far enough to have to commit. And here's the twisted part. The less they give you, the more you try to earn their validation. Why? Because of intermittent reinforcement. This is the same psychological trick casinos use to keep you gambling. If they liked you all the time, you'd get bored. If they ignored you all the time, you'd leave. But if they like you sometimes, randomly, unpredictably, your brain goes insane. One day they text you "Good morning, beautiful." The next day they leave you on read for 10 hours. Your brain doesn't read that as disinterest. Your brain reads that as a puzzle it needs to solve. So you obsess, you check your phone, you replay conversations. It's not love. It's a chemical addiction to unpredictability. But wait, it gets darker. Because there is a second reason they won't choose you, and this one has nothing to do with you not being enough. The second reason is option hoarding. In modern dating psychology, there's a concept called the paradox of choice. When people have too many options, they become incapable of choosing any option at all. They are terrified of making the wrong decision. So what do? They hoard options. They keep 3, 4, 5 people in that almost zone. You think you're competing with one other person. You're not. You're competing with their fear of settling. And this is where most people mess up completely. You think if you prove you're the best option, they will finally choose you. So you try harder. You become more attractive, more available, more understanding, more low maintenance. You basically audition to be chosen. But psychology says the exact opposite works. The more you audition, the less value you have in their eyes. Why? Because of a principle called perceived value. We don't value what is always available. We value what might disappear. If you're always there, always understanding, always waiting for them to decide, your brain is telling them one thing: this person has no other options, so I don't have to hurry. Your loyalty is being used against you. You know what's crazy? The moment you actually start to pull away for real, not as a game, but because you're genuinely done, that's the moment they suddenly act like they want you more than ever. Have you noticed that? That's not love waking up. That's loss aversion kicking in. Psychologists prove that humans feel the pain of losing something twice as intensely as the pleasure of gaining it. They didn't want you when they had you. They want you when they feel you slipping. Which brings us to the third and most painful reason. The third reason they want you but won't choose you is because choosing you forces them to confront themselves. As long as they keep you in limbo, they can tell themselves a story. They can say, I'm not ready, I'm healing, I'm focused on my career, I have commitment issues. It's a beautiful excuse that protects their ego. But if they fully choose you, that story collapses. Now they have to actually show up. Now they have to be vulnerable. Now they have to risk being a bad partner and being seen. Many people would rather want you forever than risk being truly known by you for even a month. Wanting is safe. Choosing is terrifying. So what does this do to you? It destroys your self-worth in a very specific way. You start living in what psychologists call liminal space. You're not single, but you're not taken. You're not rejected, but you're not accepted. Your nervous system is in a constant state of threat. You become anxious, overthinking, constantly monitoring their mood, their tone, their last active status. You lose yourself trying to read their mind. And you start to believe the biggest lie of all, that if you were just a little prettier, a little more successful, a little less emotional, they would finally choose you. That's a lie. Their inability to choose you is not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their capacity. A person who is not capable of commitment cannot give you commitment, no matter how worthy you are. You can't squeeze water from a stone, no matter how thirsty you are. So how do you break the addiction? How do you get out of the almost trap? You don't do it by begging them to choose you. You do it by removing yourself from the audition entirely. Psychology gives us a brutal but freeing tool for this. It's called the choice closure. You stop waiting for them to give you closure. You give it to yourself. You say this sentence out loud: if they wanted to choose me, they would have already. Their hesitation is their answer. Their confusion is their decision. A person who wants you but won't choose you has already chosen. They've chosen not to choose you. And the moment you accept that, your brain starts to heal. You stop asking, what am I doing wrong? And you start asking, why am I tolerating a connection that requires me to beg for the bare minimum? You realize that a maybe is a no dressed up as hope. And hope can be the most dangerous drug if it's invested in the wrong person. Here is the twist no one expects. The people who want you but won't choose you often come back 6 months later, a year later, when you're finally happy. They will send that "Hey stranger" text, that "I miss you" text, and you will feel that rush again, that dopamine hit. Your brain will scream, maybe now they've changed. They haven't. They are just checking if their ego insurance policy is still valid. The only way to win this game is to refuse to play. You don't win by getting them to finally choose you. You win by becoming someone who would never tolerate almost ever again. Real love doesn't feel like anxiety. Real love doesn't feel like a guessing game. Real love doesn't leave you staring at your phone at 1 a.m. wondering where you stand. Real love is calm. Real love is clear. Real love chooses you in daylight, not just in the dark when no one else is around. If someone wants you, let them want you. But if they won't choose you, believe them. Stop making excuses for people who have the time to want you, but not the courage to choose you. At the end of the day, the most painful truth is also the most freeing. You were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong person. So, I want to ask you something deep. Be honest with yourself in the comments. How long have you been living in, almost, with someone who loves the attention you give them, but will never give you the commitment you deserve? And what is one thing you will do today to finally choose yourself the way you've been waiting for them to choose you? If this hit you hard, this video found you for a reason. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, subscribe and hit the bell, because next week I'm breaking down the exact psychology of why we chase people who pull away and how to rewire your brain to become completely detached and irresistibly attractive at the same time.